me just check and see that we're live on the channel. I see it says scheduled on the laptop, on the computer. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, we're on. Awesome. Now we have that awkward 10 minutes where you're not sure who's watching, who's not watching. So it's just going to be me talking to myself. But if there's anybody on here other than me, what I wanted today's live to be is a little bit off the back of the recent video that I just made, talking about motivation and creating a real motivation as a man to achieve your goals. What's going on, everybody? I see we've got a couple of people who've popped in. What's going on, guys? Drop this video a like, help YouTube push it out to some more people, because we've only started a minute ago, so we're just getting warm. But how's everything going? How has the Christmas break been? Have you had a good chance to reset, relax while still putting in the work where necessary? I was in the gym yesterday, didn't quite make it today, but trying not to make this a period of destruction. Let's just say that, because it can be that week, you know, where you've got that long break and everything's paused. It can be a real damaging week, and it can damage the way that you start the following year. So I'm trying to avoid that and maintain as much momentum as I possibly can. What about you? How have you found it? Let me know. I appreciate the like. Thanks, man, whoever you are. I cannot see who you are, but I appreciate it. Hey, 3 people in the room. How's it going? Did you have a good Christmas? A good celebration if you are celebrating? How was it? I mean, also let me know how the audio is, because the mic I'm using has low battery, so at some point maybe it chops out. Hey man, thanks to your vids, I'm working in silence. All I need is your vids. Thanks again. Hey man, I appreciate it. High praise. Yeah, I mean, I try and do a good job of what I put out there, and make sure it's valuable. But no, I appreciate the compliment, man. The audio is fine. Appreciate it, Dan. Thanks, man. I'm happy it's okay. I'm using the Rode Wireless Go at the moment. Any of you guys thinking about content creation? It's a really good one to use, and then later on down the line you can sort of get into your upper end. It's a really nice budget microphone. You just connect the adapter to the phone, and then you have the receiver to the phone rather, and then you have the microphone that you can clip on, sort of Bluetooth, and the range is quite nice as well. But as I said already, it's on low battery, so hopefully it doesn't die out on me. And if it does, and you guys can bear it, we're going to have to go back to iPhone audio. It's been a while since I've done that. But anyway, besides the point, what I wanted to talk about today is finding motivation as a man to achieve your goals. Now, I just wrapped up a video on this, and I thought I wanted to come live and discuss it with you guys in real time. One of the main points of the video that I made was that I think it's very important to create a real sense of urgency to achieving your goals, a sense of danger. At the moment I'm reading a book, and it is The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. Now, of course, it does have examples to things that aren't relevant to modern day, such as like really old-fashioned war strategies, sort of Japanese scripture and theology, etc. That really doesn't apply today, but there's a lot of stuff that does apply. And one of the chapters or one of the strategies is to create a real sense of urgency. Because if you don't, the danger that you're going to have is that you're going to run into somebody who wants the same things that you want, who does have that sense of urgency. And when you don't have a clear, defined goal, and you don't have a clear sense of danger in your life as to why you are going to get your goals and go for your goals, and why you are, you know, not going to do so, you can allow yourself to become a little bit lost, a little bit distracted, and just sort of wander aimlessly. So something that I do, something for me, that I like to think about with everything and anything that I do, is I look a little bit beyond my years. And I think, okay, what type of man do I want to be in 10 years' time, 20 years' time? What sort of father do I want to be to my potential future kids? Do I want to be the dad that can't play with his kids because he's too fat? He can't play sports with his kids because he's too fat. He's just sat on the sofa drinking a beer, unable to move, unable to run around and play football with them? No, resoundingly no. Absolutely not. That's a horrible thing for me. So something that really acts as a constant form of motivation to be in the gym, to be training, to be getting the cardio in, to be improving myself in a physical sense is, don't become that fat dad. Be a dad that can play sports with his kids and has the energy to go for hikes and try and climb mountains, these sorts of things. And I guess on this particular topic, it doesn't have to be around the gym, it doesn't have to be around fitness, but I'd be interested to know what is something that you think of in the long term as a reason, as a why for you doing the things that you do, or a reason as to why you don't quit. What's your why? What keeps you going in whatever it is that you do? Because this can be broad. Like I say, I don't know you guys individually on a really deep personal level. If you want to, of course, get to know me, I do offer services you're going to see in the links to this video. If you want to contact me in that regard, you can do. But on the basis that I don't know you guys, what are things that you do? Or what are the reasons and justifications for the things that you do? And what are the reasons for not quitting? What is your why as such? That's something that I'm interested in. So any of you guys want to, again, pop someone in the chat, feel free, let me know. I'm curious. And I think it's important as men that we do have a why, a sense of urgency. You almost, as the law states, do have to create a sense of urgency and desperation. It's actually called the death ground strategy. I'm actually going to read you guys a small little chapter around the law. So this is strategy number 4 from the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. Again, Robert's a great author. I gotta say, the work is a little bit heavy. You know, if you're a reader and you really like the light reading, maybe it's not for you. This is a deep read. But I recommend for you guys that you really like getting stuck into a book, give it a go. So create a sense of urgency and desperation, the death ground strategy. You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you are only half involved in what you do. The only way to change is through action and outside pressure. Put yourself in situations where you have too much at stake to waste time or resources. If you can't afford to lose, you won't. Cut your ties to the past. Enter unknown territory where you must depend on your wits and energy to see you through. Put yourself on death ground where your back is against the wall and you have to fight like hell to get out alive. I just thought that was quite a profound chapter. The way that things are worded, you do sometimes have to put yourself in a real tough spot to test your character, to test your resolve, to test the type of man that you are, your cojones as such. Can't even think about me being old, regretting what I could have done. Man, as you said before in your videos, that's my why. Yeah, we resonate with similar things, brother. One of the examples I will give is, you don't want to be the old man who is sat on the porch reflecting on all the things that he could have done and wished that he would have done or tried. A long list of regrets as such. You want to be the guy that sat on the front porch, pleased with his accomplishments, pleased with all of his work. So, again, to avoid that, you do need to start, not just taking action, because everybody talks about, oh, just take action. No, just take action, yeah. Fine, obviously. And sometimes you do have to simplify it to that level. But in order to take action, I think that we need something strong to kick us up the arse to get there. And this is why I wanted to do today's live. What is your why? If there is no why, and you're not fired up by anything, I think that's a point for concern. I think there's some issues there, because it's a hyper-competitive world. And if you're not motivated by anything, and there's nothing that really gets you out of bed to go and do something with your life and go and do something with the time that you have, I'd say you're running a very hard race. A couple of questions in there. I love you, man. Appreciate you, man. Love you too. Hi, man. What do you think of chasing money at a young age? So, here. Again. Chasing money's okay. Hear me out. There's a little caveat I want to do with that. Don't become obsessed with the number. Don't become obsessed with the things and the sort of the cars, the watches, shiny object syndrome. Become obsessed with the skills that attain money. Become obsessed with becoming a person that can make money, right? Not just getting money, because anybody can scam their way into making money, do unethical things to make money. Become a man who within, you're not breaking the law, you're not doing anything unethical, you're not doing anything that is questionable, you're not exploiting anybody, but a man that can avoid doing all of those things but still make tremendous amounts of money or bring in wealth. And chasing money in today's day and age can get a lot of people on the wrong path and get a lot of people lost and confused, and their purpose sort of becomes this numerical thing that makes them feel crap all the time. So become a man who is obsessed with learning skills. Become a man who is obsessed with bettering himself. Because if you're more skillful and you're constantly, taking courses on a practical level, let's get practical here. You're taking courses, you're learning instruments, for example. Let's say you're working on your public speaking. These are some things. Let's say you're working on your education beyond your work or study. So if you're a student, you're doing more than just studying for the sake of your degree. You're doing extra studying. If you're working full-time, you're going home from work and you're reading. You're taking courses. You're learning a new language. These sorts of things. For example, on the topic of learning languages, did you guys know that on average, somebody who can speak 2 languages makes £10,000 more per year than someone who doesn't? Now, I know a lot of people in my life who have no interest in such things, and they'll say, oh, I can't be asked. I could never pick up another language. And that sort of mentality is a big reason why certain people stay in certain places. And look, again, not to judge anybody. If somebody doesn't want to learn a language, or somebody doesn't want to learn a skill and they don't want to become hyper successful, they just want to have a semi-nice life, great. Like, no, I'm not going to be the guy that, how would you say, craps on people for wanting the average life. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd say, if you want to have a life where you provide for your family, where you have enough to, enjoy some nice things, then that's something to aspire for. But a lot of what I talk about on this on this channel rather, is for the guys who want to be hyper successful, for the guys that want to build something special, for the guys that want to do something different with their lives. I'd say to you guys, if you're not doing this work, if you're not putting yourself in a position to grow and challenging yourself every single day, and not necessarily through lifting heavy weights and going to the gym and getting the work in, it doesn't have to be that, that's the minimum. But if you're not doing the courses, you're not testing yourself, learning new languages, you're not putting yourself out there in situations that are difficult for you. A lot of you guys struggle with communication. When was the last time you approached a girl? When was the last time you went to a new environment and met new people? A club. Maybe you want to learn a new instrument. You can't not speak to people at guitar class, you know, you've got to socialize a bit. But ask yourself, are you putting yourself in those situations? If not, do your words and actions align? You say you want to be hyper successful. Are you doing things that somebody who wants to be hyper successful should do? If not, you then have to reevaluate if it's what you want. And if it's not, that's fine. But if you're insistent that I do want to become hyper successful, well, there are some things that you must do. There are some requirements to attain that life that you must hit. Are you hitting them? But anyway, guys, keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Couple of interesting points so far. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on this area. Vlad, I think to your question, I'll answer I've already answered, but to answer in a bit of a shorter, sweeter way. Don't become obsessed with the numbers. Don't become obsessed with having X in the bank account. Become obsessed with learning skills that will allow you naturally to attract money. In the long run, that is something you'll be grateful for. Guys, if you're taking any value from today's video, please do me a massive favor, help me out. It's a small channel, looking to grow it as much as possible. Hit the like button on this video, and if you are new around here, consider subscribing for more content from me. I'm going to try and implement these live streams weekly, so you can hold me to that. I'll try my best to get these done at least once a week, and obviously, if you haven't seen my content before on the channel, I post near enough daily on the YouTube channel, long form and also some shorts as well. So consider subscribing. Stay tuned for more from me. But anyway, in the meantime, guys, feel free to pop any questions or any thoughts that you would like to share personally from your experience. I have the laptop in front of me this way, so I'm looking at the stream just to see the comments, etc. And I know you guys are here, okay? What does grinding mean to you, and how do you keep yourself motivated even when the results aren't immediate? Fantastic question. Okay, so this channel has 3,043 subscribers. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, it's not huge, but to me, it's massive. I'll tell you why it's massive. The end of this year, I'd set a goal to have 1,000 subscribers. So 1,000 people subscribe to the channel. That was my genuine goal, because that was something that I thought was realistic, but something also challenging. Okay? And it turns out, obviously, here we are, 3K, smashed the 1,000 goal. But there were times that throughout the year, I'm posting daily content, and I'd only post stuff that I think is valuable, but you know, views are low. We're talking 20s sometimes. Sometimes I get a video of over 100 views, etc. But more than not, it was, you know, I'm putting in effort to make the videos, And look, I enjoy making the videos, so let's not make out like this is something I don't like to do. I enjoy it. I care about what I'm talking about. And I only do it because I like doing it. And I only do it because I want to provide value. And I get comments from people saying, oh, this is great. But, you know, when you're making content, ultimately, one of the things you want to see is that you're generating more traction, you're getting more views, etc. And there were times where I'm just posting all the time and people are commenting. There'll be a couple of comments saying, this is amazing. Don't know why it's not got more views. This is great. But again, the numbers are low. The subscribers are low. And grinding is the ability to forget about the results in the immediate moment and do something for a consistent period of time with little evidence that it is going to work for the bigger picture that you want to provide some value. So the ultimate underlying reason that I started this channel was to first and foremost express myself, get things off my chest about topics that I was interested in. A lot of what I talk about are reflections and lessons and losses, things that I have learned, and also things that I have, I don't know, read or studied or looked into because I find interesting. And it started as that, and it sort of developed into as it is today. But you do need to, for a while, slug it out. There's going to be a time where you're working really hard on something you really care about, and there's no evidence to suggest that it's working. And people around you, and this is the danger of telling lots of people about your stuff as well. I don't share this with friends and family. I don't share this with, you know, anybody that doesn't really need to know. Because when you do that, what you do is you set expectations and they can see what you're doing. And they might say to you, hey, Alfie, you know, this YouTube thing really isn't working, mate. You've put out 150 videos and you've only got 800 subscribers or whatever, something like that. And very possibly that can start to get in your head. Part of grinding, though, is to do the work in silence. I talk about this there's a lot of videos I've made. You guys will have seen them. A man who works in silence will always have better results than the man who talks about his work. If I'd have told people about what I was doing and I'd have made it a really public thing, I'm doing this, expectations are there. When people interject and then say it's not working, you're more likely to quit. So you have to keep going, even when there is no evidence that it's going to work, even when you're dogging it out and nobody's noticing. Hope that answered the question. Hard work or obsession? Healthy obsession. Healthy obsession. So where do I live? England. Not too far from Cambridge, let's just say that. And for profession, within sales. I've been working out for 8 years, roughly, and I've lost motivation, but gained consistency. How long have you been working out for? Yeah, so for me, it's almost 10 years. It's almost 10. And I relate to the whole motivation thing, because after a while, I don't know about you guys, when you've been going to the gym for a really long time, you don't bank on motivation that much. More than not, you don't want to go. More than not, you can't be bothered. When you're in the door, it's fine. You're up for it then. You're ready to go. But that discipline kicks in. You develop literally disciplined muscles, and it's an awesome feeling. Hope I'm not too late to the live. Of course not, brother. Of course not, brother. How old are you? If I do an age reveal, brother, if I tell people my age, they're going to be shocked. And I don't know, maybe you lose some respect, but I'm a younger guy. What do you think about ego? How do you use ego as an advantage? I think ego's something you want to keep to yourself. You don't want to be an outwardly egocentric individual, somebody who just talks and brags and gloats. You can gloat to yourself. You know, there's often times where, for example, let's use the traditional example, I'm in the gym and I've got 95 kilos on the bar and I'm doing 5 sets of 5, which is actually something that I practice. and maybe I'm in that 4th set or the 5th set and I'm struggling. I might say to myself in my head, I've done it before, I can do it again. I might get angry. I might say to myself, you know, you're a king or something like that. But that's not something you want to be sharing to people around you, because they're going to look at you and go, think, who's this freak show? Why is he talking about himself like that? Why is he speaking in 3rd person? Like, you don't want to be that guy. Nothing wrong with having a bit of ego internally, but as long as it's healthy, right? As long as it's ego that helps you to do things, as long as it's, you know, not detrimental and you don't develop this complex. Man, it's massive. Many people are learning from your experience. I'm in Saudi, by the way. Amazing, man. Thank you. Thanks for the answer. No problem at all. Congrats on 10 years. Brother, I appreciate that, man. Wow. Congrats on 10 years. I'll be there soon. Man, that's not necessary, bro. You don't need to do that. I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. That's awesome. Cheers, Stephen, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing you with 10 years under your belt. And maybe at some point, I don't know, at some point I want to do like a, when this thing grows bigger, maybe a meetup with a few guys. I do have a plan at some point down the line, maybe when there's a few more subscribers, when we're a bit bigger, launching a community on Skool. I've got a Discord at the moment for any of you guys interested. But I think Skool is a really good way that you can sort of provide value to people and have like a tight-knit community, and everybody grows and everybody improves. So I'm thinking of maybe in a year's time, 6 months' time, really depends on how the channel goes, but getting a community set up and then following that, some meetups. Maybe we go to the gym, walk some mountains, something crazy like that. I like the idea of doing something like that. Alf, you're going to do a New Year's Eve video, not the typical resolution video. Nice, man. Thanks again, Stephen. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. So yeah, Tim, I mean, I sort of made a video the other day, like 2 days ago, touching on this. I may do another one specifically for New Year's. But as you guys know, watching my content, New Year's resolutions are bullshit. Don't be the guy who is talking about January 1st, I'm going to do this. January 1st, I'm going to do this. No, January 1st, you're going to carry on doing what you've already been doing, which is working hard and building in silence. There are going to be so many friends who set resolutions, but don't follow them. And you want to be the guy who doesn't set them, but just continues building from where he's already at. What's the best way to forget about the past and focus on the present? Well, the past is out of your control. You may have done some messed up shit, right? You may have really hurt somebody, not in a physical sense, maybe in an emotional sense. You may have disgraced your name as such. But what's done is done. Now the only thing that you can control, now the only thing that you can do is to try and make sure, one, you never do the same thing again, and that going forward, your actions tailor a better reputation. Just ensure that you are a better man today than you were yesterday, and a better man tomorrow than you are today. That's it. But looking back, hey, look, I mean, I'm sort of caught in two senses on the regret thing, because never have any regrets, don't have regrets, I think is important. However, I guess there are always going to be certain things within our lives that we wish we'd done a little bit differently, right, guys? We can say, oh, I don't have any regrets. A lot of people say, I have no regrets, and it sounds really cool. But if you're being honest and you're being asked, okay, let's look at life for what it is. Would I have done that differently? Possibly. But I guess it's looking at it from a different perspective and saying, no, I don't have regrets, but I do have lessons. And I've been asked this before, have you got any regrets on relationships, regrets on dating, etc.? I said there's definitely things that I have done previously, or strategies that I have imposed previously that really didn't work for me and caused a lot of trouble in my life. So you could on paper say, oh, that's a regret. but it's actually a lesson, because without that bad lesson, without that negative experience, I wouldn't have the knowledge to not go out there and do it again. So it's perspective, I think. I think the quote goes, tell them which leg hurt and watch how they accidentally step on it. If someone exposes your weakness, how to deal with it. Do we ignore it or not? If someone exposes your weakness, I mean, if there's somebody close to you, get them out of your life, you know. You don't want to be surrounding yourself with people that want to see you fail. Now, we all have people in our lives that right now we're not aware of that actually don't want the best for us. And the only way you can know is by them revealing themselves. It's just about when they do reveal themselves, get them gone. You got to kind of develop a sort of state of indifference, really, where your best friend ever, can betray you, and you value yourself so highly that you're willing to let them go. You know? You can't have it where people walk all over you, or people treat you badly, or people disrespect you in your life, and you still reward them with your presence. You've got to get them out of your life. So look, if people are sat there exposing you publicly about your, I don't know, your misfortunes, things that aren't going well for you in life, you then must make the bold decision to say, okay, well, look, thank you for your service. Goodbye. I lost so many friends. Friends, right? I lost so many friends through this, but the ones that stuck around really established themselves as my brothers, you know? We all know that one guy, that one ride or die guy who you pick up the phone and call and he's going to be there. I have that guy. And there were times maybe where you don't appreciate that guy, or you might be that guy for somebody else. You know, you go to university and you make a bunch of friends there. Or you start a new job and you make a bunch of friends at your new job, and you start spending a little bit less time with your guy. You know, there's going to be times like that in your life, but that guy, that best friend, separates himself from the others with consistency. And I think it's better to have one person like that in your life than it is to have 20 friends. You know, so for me, I'm not a guy that has loads and loads of friends. I do have more than one friend. I do have some really close friends. But I like to keep that circle small, because when you start widening that circle and inviting people into your life that haven't been vetted, that haven't been tested, or their friendship hasn't been tested, you can promote problems. How to deal with your family questions about things you're doing when they notice you work on many things which are for your future, but do not want to tell them. So look, I mean, I relate to this with so my own personal story. I told you guys I don't promote this to like aunties, uncles, cousins, friends, or like, you know, when I say friends, I mean like sort of distant friends, acquaintances, because it's just not really relevant. And I don't want to set that expectation, right? This is something that I do on the side. This is something that I want to build. This is my baby, right? But it's also not about being overly secretive. You know, if somebody happens to stumble across my family, my channel, it's a family member, it's a friend that didn't know about it. This happens all the time, naturally, with views going up, etc. And they say, "Oh, I didn't realize you did this." I say, "Yeah, it's just something that I do, something that I work on." And that's it. Keep it cool. Keep it simple. You know, you may have close family members a little bit curious about how you're spending your time. And if they ask you directly, what are you literally doing? You can tell them. You know, that's okay. And if they don't fully understand, maybe it's because they come from a generation and an era where what you're doing didn't apply in their day. So there's some curiosity there. But with consistency and with hard work, it will make sense. Gentlemen, can you hear me again? I did warn that maybe this would happen. Just let me know. Let me know if we're still there. And let me know where I was. But I was kind of just saying how possibly there is somebody out there waiting for you to fail, waiting for you to be inconsistent. And this is where you need to stay in the game. But keep things quiet at the start, especially when you're building, because you're vulnerable. You know, it's like, in a practical sense, it's like, I don't really like when people announce that they're having a baby, right? To your close friends and your family, yeah, okay, but I don't really like it when people plaster it all over social media. And they maybe plaster where they live and their exact location as well, because you're really gambling there. You're potentially inviting some unwanted things into your life, and you have a really vulnerable, precious thing, this baby, right? And I want you to think about it like this. Your work, your side hustle, your project, your YouTube channel, the thing you are working on is your baby. And at the very beginning, when you're working and building, you need to protect it and you need to grow it organically. And when you have people that you know really well, or people that are involved in your life hitting you with different opinions and objections and critiques, etc., it can really affect your ability to water that plant as such, to grow it organically. So I think a really important thing when you're worried about what family and friends might say, only tell people that really need to know. And you know, it's cool to just play it cool sometimes. Hey, what are you working on right now? Oh, just some personal projects. Oh, like what? Yeah, oh, just, you know, just this thing I've been doing for a while. You know, you don't need to expand too much. If they're pestering you, it gets a bit weird. You just say, listen, man, back off. You know, if they're not a personal friend, you know, or they're a family member that, you know, hasn't got a track record of treating you nicely or being genuinely interested, you know, they don't need to know. We hear you, awesome. Sound is clear now. Sorry about that, guys. Very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. But leave a like on this video, nonetheless, and subscribe if you are new around here. If you're watching, you haven't hit the like button, it does help to boost it on YouTube to more people. Again, we're a small channel. We're looking to grow even bigger, so any support's appreciated. Hashtag, how's it going, my brother? Hope you had a good Christmas. I did, man. Quiet, peaceful, very nice. What about you guys? How was it? But keep them coming, guys, whatever comes to mind. Yeah, I hope the audio is not too much of a drop off, but we're back on iPhone audio, guys. But yeah, don't become too obsessed with, you know, feeling like you need to tell everybody what you're doing. This is a mistake. And look, you do not have to live like Bruce Wayne. You don't have to act like Batman. You're not, you know, hiding in the shadows. You don't need to do that. You can be honest. If somebody says, oh, you know, if it's your mum, for example, and your mum's asking you, what is it that you're working on in your bedroom? You can say, oh, well, I'm looking to do this. You know, don't worry her and quit your full-time job to start a side hustle that you have no evidence is going to work. But at the same time, do not be too secretive and weird, because it just looks odd, you know? You don't want to be concealing absolutely everything. At the same time, you don't want to be oversharing. Strike a balance in the middle. Do you have like a preferred car? Yeah, I mean, my favorite car, the car I would like, I mean, there's a couple, but something that I'd really like to have one day is a Rolls-Royce Ghost. I'm quite big on the new ones. I think they're really nice. And then your sort of sports car would be the DB9. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. What about you, man? I checked out one of your videos a while back I just had a look on the channel. I saw the video about women with dogs. I thought that was interesting. You're a funny guy. But Ernest, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you in here. How's the studying going? How's school? Ernest is one of the guys who was one of the first people in the Discord. One of my top guys. Been following me for a while, and yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Just let me know that everything's still good with the stream, guys, the quality, camera, etc. I saw it. I told you, I had a look. I had a look on the channel. Keep going with the content. You know, got to be careful though, because YouTube, certain titles are gonna maybe get flagged up, and you need to be careful with, especially if you want to be monetized at some point or another, not doing anything too, how would you say, you know, anything so much that they'll send you to Rumble, you know. Maybe get booted off the YouTube platform. So, but no, I listened. I thought it was interesting. But okay, guys, let's go there. So I mentioned earlier in the video, we talked about New Year's resolutions and how I don't really believe in them. What are some of your New Year's resolutions as such, without setting them, without, you know, putting yourself on that conventional sort of path that everybody and their dog does? What do you want to get done next year? What this year have you failed on? Be honest, what this year did you not get done that you wanted to? What is the plan? By the end of 2026, what would you like to say you have changed or got or improved? Great to see you, man. Here to listen. Some insight before I sleep. Hope Britain is snowing right now. Hey, thanks, man. It's, you know, I appreciate it, man. I try and share some value as much as possible. Britain is, we're not snowing. Maybe we are in some parts. It's just cold, man. It's just cold. It's just frosty. As a Brit, do you like James Bond? Of course. If so, which is your favorite Bond actor? Mine is definitely Roger Moore, and in second place it's Timothy Dalton. See, for me, generationally, I'm gonna go Daniel Craig. I just think he's a proper Bond. The other guys, obviously, as well. I can't say I'm too familiar, but you know, sort of Casino Royale, even, you know, your Skyfall, and the last one, Spectre. That was just sad. But I thought he was a great Bond. But I do like Bond, yeah. By the end of it, I should be in Edinburgh Uni studying mechanical engineering. Hey, fair play, brother. Fair play. And where are you based at the moment? Is Edinburgh like a goal of a place that you want to be? I just want to check the phone is charging, guys. We are charging. Awesome. I knew it. Hey, man. I mean, I'm not even old enough to have seen the other guys, right? So when I grew up, it was just Daniel Craig. But, you know, there's something about that Bond. Cool as, you know, just smooth operator. Obviously, all of the action that comes with it. And just stoic as well. Awesome. I'm properly caffeinated now. I'm all caffeined up. Hi, man. I use your videos to learn English. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Hey, awesome, man. Well, Oscar, I mean, I'm a TEFL certified English teacher as well. So you can pop me a message on Discord if you want to you want to work with me one-to-one, it's something that I do in my spare time as well. So, but I appreciate your comment, man. Are you using subtitles, or are you like raw dogging the Alf Pursuit, listening without any subtitles or anything like that? That sounded wild as well. I just clocked what I just said. I didn't mean it like that, brother. But no, I heard a few people say that they listen from foreign countries, and that it's for similar reasons, which is interesting. Any particular words that I use overly frequently that you've picked up on? But hey, unexpected perspectives. What do you do? What's your what's your thing? What do you like doing? Tell me a bit about you, because I see that you are you're a guy that's pretty pretty consistent here. So be interesting to know. It'd be appreciated if at some point you could show us your studio setup. Your lighting is on point. Yeah, for sure, man. I can get that done. If you I don't know if you're on Instagram or not, but if you are, and for you 10 guys that are here, if you don't follow me on Instagram, Instagram's one of the sort of the platforms that I'm struggling to grow on right now. So if you check me out, Alf Pursuit, I may post a story on there just showing the setup. It's pretty basic, man. Pretty simple. I have an Elgato key light, which is just placed above the desk there, and it's been really helpful, because there've been times where, and again, this is part of the sort of struggle climbing when you're new to something and you're building. There've been times where I'm posting on YouTube, and I've got a little ring light, and you can see that half of my face is sort of got a bit of shadow on it, etc. I put it out there anyway, and the quality's not perfect, so it took a while to sort of get this set up in the way that it is. But I got it quite a nice price as well. So yeah, Elgato key light, that's the thing that I'm using. And right now we're filming on an iPhone. I just have a little tripod set up. But this bad boy, for any of you guys thinking about content creation, this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is the latest investment as such. So you can see that it sort of flips, basically. And it sort of follows you. The camera follows you, which is awesome. And there's a mic that comes with that, and you can do that Bluetooth. So that's what I've been doing recently, which is, hey, hopefully you guys noticed the difference in quality, but that's been a step up, in the light as well. And just means that I can, a problem that I was having in the earlier days was that if the daylight was down, and in England later in the year, it really gets dark very early, the quality on my iPhone would lower. So you start looking like you're filming on a potato. But now with this lighting, no matter what device I film on, I prefer the Osmo, but if it needs to be the iPhone, I can have a consistently 4K image. But again, it's about building to that point. Let me get onto these comments. You guys are probably fed up of me not answering them. Sorry, Wi-Fi cut it, no problem at all. Get down to 15% body fat, more than lean, keep the muscle by summer 26. I like it, man. How's the progress going so far? What are you doing right now to work towards it? I talked to someone today about his dating life, and he told me we're living in a hyper-competitive world where the weak don't get what they want. We need to date more women for experience. He told me that there is no such thing as a soulmate. What do you think about this? Yeah, I don't agree with what he said. That's my honest view. And hey, maybe what I say is not popular with some people. I do believe in the sort of traditional relationships. I do believe that, there is a good chance that if you conduct yourself in the right way, and you work hard, and you work to improve yourself socially, you become a skilled and attractive individual, that you can have a happy relationship. I know a lot of people like to say, it's cope, bro. It's cope. We're doomed. We're cooked. And I just don't want to live like that. I just don't want to live where I'm constantly telling myself that things are bad, because there are great people out there. There are also very bad people who some of you may say, like, I've been in bad relationships before. I've had bad things go on. I've learned lessons. Right, definitely it's a hyper competitive world, and you do need to be, if you want a great woman, you need to be a great man. Okay? But also, guys, a lot of guys are under the impression that just sleeping around and getting the numbers up is going to make you a great man. No, it won't. It's going to make you a sex addict. It's going to make you a guy who is constantly sniffing around looking for more skirt. It's going to be a guy that can't settle down with the perfect woman because he keeps thinking about number 47 on the list of 123 girls that he slept with, right? There's literally science to back up the idea that the more people you sleep with, the more distant you become from your future wife, and the less ability you have to pair bond with people. That's not to say if you've done sleeping around and you've had a stage in your life where you've done that you can't turn things around and get married and have a nice relationship. You absolutely can. But it's about stopping in your tracks and realizing that that path only gets to a certain place. Like the fresh and fit guys, I don't agree with what they say. I don't. And I think it's damaging to a lot of guys. I'm not saying they're completely stupid and that anything they say is wrong. Like, they have some points that they're objectively right on. But I think more than not, it's damaging. Getting men to try and sleep with 50 women. What do you think that's going to do to you? What do you think that's going to do to your mind? You're going to be constantly comparing. You're never going to be able to settle because you're always going to be looking for better. Oh no, the angle when we were doing this on that one was really great, and that one doesn't quite compare the same way, or the size and the shape of number 27. You're going to fry your brain. And it's not healthy. I do think there's really great women out there. I really do. And it's not a popular opinion. I know a lot of people like to live in the doom and gloom, but no. You always say a man who... I can remember it every time. It's great. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep going, man. I'm a former truck driver. That's a graft, brother. That's a graft. My uncle drives trucks, and yeah, I know it can be it can be rewarding. You can have a bit of space to yourself and be on the road listening to music. But I know it's tough. So you do have to be a mentally strong guy to do that job. But I also had a company in food wholesale, currently struggling to take the first few steps to get back into business. Whole Foods says, hey, well, little by little. Little by little. I like it, man. Most of the time, I don't need subtitles. I just enjoy your content. Appreciate you, brother. But sometimes maybe I sort of fall back into speaking a little bit too quick. Us English guys can do that. And as a person that's currently learning another language, I do empathize with you, my friend. So I'm always conscious to try and make my words clear. Sometimes I'll repeat myself to really get that clarity going. Because I've got to say, listening to some of the native Spanish speakers from like Andalusia or somewhere like that, I just get lost, I can speak Spanish conversationally with somebody that wants to speak with me, if that makes sense. But when you start getting to that speed, that native speed, it's like, wow, give me a minute. Give me a few seconds. Hey, I'm so glad that in my live, that I'm in the live. I'm going to break it down for you. I think I can figure out what you're saying. My English is not good, but I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for your videos. Now I'm started seeing girls differently. I was in a situationship 5 months, but I asked her to be my girlfriend and she said no, but she can be my friend. And then I just left her. I don't feel sad, but I feel free. So I think from what I've gathered there, you were, seeing a girl casually. You then decided, you know what, I don't want to be in a situation anymore. I don't want to be that guy who's in situationships. I want to lock this one down. And then she said, no, I was cool with the situationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. And then you've said, okay, bye-bye. And that is a good state of mind to be in. That's good, my friend, because you wanted to do things differently. You wanted to say, I don't want to be doing this situationship anymore. I don't want to be doing this casual stuff. It feels a bit dirty. It feels a bit wrong. Let's get into a relationship. And then when she's gone, no, I'm not interested, you say, okay. And that's nice. That's where you want to be. You're not gonna win all the time. There's gonna be girls that reject you. There's gonna be things that don't go the way that you anticipate. But gentlemen, we must never chase what doesn't want us. You can't be chasing someone or something that is going in the opposite direction. Because as a mentor of mine says, whatever you are chasing is running away from you. Okay? So yeah, be indifferent to it. I say it, if I've translated what you are saying perfectly, I would say to you, well done. Well done. Be sure to give this video a like, guys, if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And look, for those of you guys on here already, channel memberships are live. So if you do want to support me and what I do, there's a join button next to my name. And look, I do make member exclusive content as well. So there's some benefits on the other side of that. But if you want to support the channel, become a member, help your brother out, and I'll keep doing what I do. Lifting weights, push-ups, morning jogging, riding mountain bike, need to work on diet. Hey man, it gets all of us. It absolutely gets all of us, the diet. It's in the food. And if you're living with people that maybe buy and bring unhealthy things into the house, it can be difficult. But there is a way around it, for sure. For sure. But I mean, look, the lifting, the weights, and the cardio as well, that's going to serve you well. It's going to serve you well. You're going to be in a good position for that summer 26 goal. For sure. For sure. It's nice, man. Yeah, I mean, for me, running is something that I need to sort of, it's been a couple of weeks now. I need to get back into that. I've got that in the mind. I've been doing a lot of strength training recently because I don't know if you guys haven't heard this or whatever. There was a while where I was in the gym. I'm lifting really heavy weights, and I thought to myself, you know what, this isn't very functional. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to get into sort of calisthenics, so my body weight, push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and I'm going to sort of avoid doing the overly heavy weights. And what I found was actually the heavy weights were helping me a lot more than I realized, and the heavy weights were helping me to do more pull-ups and push-ups and dips. And when I stopped doing the heavy weights, I damaged my strength and also my calisthenic strength. So right now I'm at a process where I'm actually going back to the heavy weights. And when I say heavy weights, I'm not talking about throwing around weights that are going to hurt me. I'm talking about manageable weights. So can I do it for 5 sets of 5? If I can, amazing. And it's going really well. Some strength gains have been made. I'm feeling strong, getting stronger. Of course, there's a way to go. But right now, I'm lifting 95 or 97.5 for near enough 5 times 5. So 25 reps over a period of 5 sets and looking to build up. Almost 100 for 5.5. Alf, I just lifted my best weights of the year today. Dill, nice work, brother. Nice work. What sort of exercise was this? That's great work. I like seeing you guys come up with wins. I'll always share my wins with you guys. But celebrate them. Celebrate them. It's not a popular topic, celebrating your wins, but it's a necessary topic. The 10 people that are in here right now, don't you dare have something great in your life happen that you've been working towards for a long time and not celebrate. Celebrate. Go out for a cup of coffee, go out for a beer with a friend, whatever. Order some nice food, or go and smoke a cigar with a friend or something like that. But enjoy, celebrate, because if you don't, then what's it for in the first place? I was stronger on everything today, and it shows how much I needed to rest and eat for a few days. Hey, you're not fooling anybody, brother. We know what you've been doing the past couple of days. It's that Christmas time, right? So you've been packing in the calories.
as we all have. Still training, by the way, still training, but this is what happens, that Christmas time of year, there's a little bit more food than normal, and mass moves mass, my friend. No, but good work. I mean, sometimes you do need a couple of days to rehydrate the body as such, energy, rest. And hey, look, 2 days off, 3 days off can actually can amplify your lifts. I mean, sometimes even a week off, when you're feeling really sore, your shoulders are clicky and painful, it can make a difference. It honestly can. I'm going to give my bench PB another shot next week for sure. Good stuff. Hey, I mean, as long as you're not doing it too frequently, as long as it's not something you're doing like, you shouldn't be doing PBs once a month, I would say. Your PBs really want to be once every 3 or 4 months for one rep, let's say, because it's not something that is going to benefit you too much. And I think I see a lot of guys, especially young guys in the gym that I go to, every week they're loading something up on the bar, like a 1 rep max. And I used to do this probably more than I should have when I was a bit younger, but not to the level that they do. And honestly, it's a 1 rep max is only something that really needs to be done every 3 or 4 months, maybe every 6 months, because it's just an indication of your strength. But think about it, you need the reps. You need the reps in your sessions. That's how you build the strength, with the reps. Las repeticiones, okay? Hey, I try a PB once every 3 months or so. Yeah, I think about right. About right, Dylan. I'm not sure if this is the right question. Do you have a girlfriend or wife? Sorry, I'm just curious. A girlfriend. No problem at all. It's a question that was gonna come, right, when you put yourself on the internet. But yes, again, practicing what I preach, right? Not something I talk about. Not something I share too much. And I recommend to you guys to do the same as well. I see a lot of, or I'll hear of people that will post about, their partners and very intimate details of their relationship to potentially millions of people. You don't think this is going to cause issues? You don't think you're potentially inviting some danger into your relationship, or some people into your relationship that don't need to be there? I mean, in fact, you're literally, the problem of inviting one unnecessary person into your relationship is the biggest problem. You mustn't invite people to your private life. You can literally affect the security of the people that you love by hablando demasiado, talking too much, So, hey, I'm open to share that, by the way, because it's it's a direct question. But you don't see me talk too much. You don't see me waffle about it, because it's private, right? So hold that same energy for yourself, guys. That's a practical tip. Hopefully, there's been a few practical things that have been mentioned in today's live. I know the content I put out there, a lot of it is motivation. A lot of it is, maybe not the most specific. I mean, there's definitely videos talking about specific things, specific strategies. But within these lives, I want it to be a place whereby if you have specific questions around something that you want to do or something that you're unsure about, pop it in there. Okay? I was thinking you should create some content on how to conduct yourself as a gentleman, insisting on being smart, trimming hair and eating healthily, spray a bit of fragrance. And Ernest, that's a wonderful idea. And if you guys are interested in that, do hit a like on Ernest's comment. It is something I'm interested in. I am a person that does like his fragrances, and do like to look after myself with sort of skincare and these sorts of things. I'm very open to sort of introducing that to the channel. I have a couple of fragrances here that I might recommend. These are just sort of travel fragrances, but we have a few here, which are actually from the Penhaligon's line, which is a really, it's a very nice sort of fragrance brand. I'm not going to read the names because they are a bit complicated. There's a whole family story with this particular company, but it is very important to smell good, or at least not to smell like shit. You want to be smelling fresh and looking fresh. We can't change our face, you know. I don't have the perfect face, but who cares, you know? You can't change what God has given you, and if you do, normally it doesn't go that well. I've not seen many examples of plastic surgery, unless somebody is really physically afflicted previously to the surgery, going that well. But what you can do is you can make sure that your beard is trimmed nicely, make sure that your haircut is a regular thing, make sure that you're not looking too scruffy, you're not leaving the house looking very unpresentable, unless you're going for a haircut or something like that, or you're, going to the gym, then, But if you're going out and about to do things, look presentable, look sharp. You don't want to be known as the guy that just looks scruffy. People have put you in the scruffy box. People put you in the box of somebody who doesn't look after themselves. Women are not going to be attracted to guys like that. And I'm not talking a guy that works maybe like let's say you work a sort of industrial job, like a heavy job where you have to get your hands dirty. That's absolutely different. That's completely different. I'm talking about somebody who has the capability to dress nicely and smell good and look sharp and chooses to do the opposite. Don't be that guy. Okay. I really care about my brother and I love him, but he doesn't take care of himself and organize his time. Sometimes I say I regret things I regret and I feel like I'm being a grandma. I'm with Ernest, good idea. Okay, so look, I relate to this, guys. Look, you're going to have family members and you're going to have friends that conduct themselves differently to you. And sometimes it can be painful, and sometimes you can, how would you say, put your opinion out there because you can't help it. Let's say something's been said and you just feel the need to snap back and say the truth. Sometimes I've found myself in those situations, but honestly, guys, if they wanted to change, they would. Often trying to change somebody who doesn't want to change themselves only hurts you. It only damages you. After a certain point, you've just got to say, do what you want, brother. Do what you want. And what you can do is build a very successful life and do the talking with your success. In this example, I would say, show him the way. Show your brother what he is missing with your success. Not by telling him he's a lazy asshole. Not by, shouting him down and lecturing him, because that doesn't work. It never has, it never will. But by winning yourself and without words, guide him to making the same changes and the same progress. Okay? Hit the like on this video, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you're a drifting viewer. I'm a small channel. I'm looking to grow even bigger. And any support that you guys can give makes a big difference to me and the channel. So like, subscribe, share. And as I say, any of you guys want to become a member, there's a bunch of perks that come with that. Hit the join button. I've used fragrances since I was a teenager. Or I've not used fragrances since I was a teenager. Maybe that's put me outside the dating pool, but I stand by my choice. Hey, I mean, look, if you haven't used them for a while and you're wanting to get back into the dating pool, it's something I would recommend, to be honest. Just having a nice scent, like a masculine fragrance on you, can really make you stand out, because a lot of guys don't give care to this. So if you want different results to most men, you do different things, but it doesn't have to be something expensive. Like, you don't need to go for a really expensive line. There's some pretty great budget options out there. I don't know, you spend 20 or 30 quid, 30 euros or 50 bucks or something like that can last you maybe 6 months. I don't know if you've talked about this before, but how private should our relationships be? It's a fine line between seeking advice and oversharing. Okay, it's a nice question. So when it comes to, how would you say, talking about your relationship, just make sure you're talking about it with people you can absolutely trust and relevant people. You know, you don't want to be sharing with people that you can't trust, and you don't want to be sharing with people that really have no experience, or indeed the wrong type of experience. You don't want to be sharing with people that that don't have a life that you want, or don't have a relationship that you want. It's like going to the friend that constantly breaks up with all of his girlfriends about dating advice from your relationship. Is that going to benefit you? Probably not, right? You're probably just going to experience similar results to the results that he gets if you seek and follow his advice. So it's not to say never ever talk about it, but be really careful. And I wouldn't be sharing problems with anybody. Problems within your relationship, those things are private, because what you can do is you can turn, in the moment, you can have a situation that comes up in the relationship and you can feel really angry about it. So you go and tell somebody out of anger, and then they have an opinion of your partner based on what you've said. But in actuality, in that situation, in the relationship, you were in the wrong and you interpreted things in the wrong way. But you've already shared it with somebody and the damage is done, and their opinion of that person has changed. Again, abuse, if you're finding yourself in a relationship where you think you are being abused, you feel like you're being really, mistreated, that's different. You need to share that. You need to get out of there. I know there are some guys in that situation. But if there's nothing, too bad going on, you're going to have problems in a relationship. Work through them together. Again, when you invite people in and you start talking about your problems on an overly public level, it's no longer private. It's no longer your relationship. It's everybody's relationship. Okay? So that's where I stand on that. Maybe a video would be good on that. As I say, what I'm doing at the moment for my members is that I am making videos specific to their wants. So if you guys have any specific requests, I will make those videos for the members if you join the membership program. Message retracted. Okay, I didn't see that message. Unexpected perspectives. But yeah, guys, I think this has been a great live. I've enjoyed you guys coming on here. I appreciate you and your time. Hopefully, if this is the first time you've stumbled across my channel, you've taken some value. And for you guys that I haven't really had an opportunity to speak with one-to-one before, this is it's great to meet you all. It's great to talk it out with you on more of a personal level, because a video is a video. It starts and it finishes, but live, this is a little bit more interactive. So hit the like button if you want to see more of this from me. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Okay, I don't know if you talked about this before. Okay, I've already read that one. But anyway, keep the questions going, guys. I don't know how long I'm gonna go on for, but I'll keep going until views drop off. I do appreciate you've got lives and you've got stuff that you want to be doing, but for me, I got a bit of time, and this is good fun for me. So fire away. Yeah, maybe diving deeper into a topic like that would be great. Awesome, man. Lives are funny. Hey, it's especially the start, because when your channel is sort of south of 10K, it takes a while for viewers to realize that you're live, especially if they haven't got notifications on. Which reminds me, guys, if you subscribe to my channel, be sure to turn on notifications for my videos so that when they go live, you are aware and you can watch it quicker than anybody else. But yeah, particularly at the start of live videos, when you are waiting for you know, people to come in, you can find yourself just sat there, you know, in silence, waiting. And I do start talking normally, but yeah, for sure, they are funny. But yeah, I mean, guys, as I say, I'm making videos specifically for members and their requests. So be sure to, well, consider joining the membership program, becoming a member of the channel. And you get that little bit more from me and some of the perks that come with that additionally. But I'm looking to grow that. And as I say, at some point, I don't know when, I do want to launch a school community. I think they've got a really nice platform. And I want to develop a real tight community of guys that are looking to grow. I know a couple of you guys have said that you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, build back up in business, and work on relationships. At some point, I definitely want to launch a community like that. Let me know if that sounds like of interest and something that you want to be a part of, because it's a lot of what I talk about. I'll be doing weekly calls and that sort of thing with the members, and we do sort of posts in there and courses within there. That's definitely something I would like to I'd like to do at some point. What's your favourite part of the region of the UK? So no, it's not London. It's not London. It's Manchester. For me, Manchester, yeah, it's got a real place in my heart. I've spent quite a bit of time there, living there, and some of the, you know, the Peak District, the nature, sort of mountains. It's very beautiful. And yeah, look, I'm a big football fan. My background is, or was, in sort of sports coaching. And that is how I got into this sort of coaching and content creation, on the back of helping people in the real world within sports and working with individuals and helping them with their mindsets relating to high performance, which then sort of crossed over to this. But I have a, you know, I'm a big football fan, a big Man United fan, which I tell you what, guys, is a tough life. It's a tough life. It was not the easiest club to support in retrospect, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So obviously you've got, you know, your Manchester United, your Old Trafford there. You've also, you know, you've got football grounds nearby. You've got your Etihad, you've got your Salford City, Burnley, Turf Moor. Was that unexpected? Unexpected perspectives? This is where you tell me you're a Liverpool fan, right? But it's okay. I got friends that are Liverpool fans. You know, we can work through it if you are. But yeah, I think that part of the UK is beautiful. I love it. It's crazy how some people actually live in Manchester while others we're all watching it from a TV. Yeah, I was that guy, bro, because I'd never lived in the north of England before. And then when I went there to study, I there for over 3 years, working, studying, and yeah, it's an incredible place. And the people are very kind as well. It's a really nice, don't get me wrong, when you go to the city, there's some real rough areas that you don't want to be there too late. Piccadilly Gardens is a place there that's pretty gloomy sometimes, but you know, your average Salfordian, for example, walking down the street, friendly, chatty, pally, you know, people say hello to you when you're walking down the street, people smile. It's nice. It's nice. But hey guys, I think I may call the live to an end here. It's been a pleasure speaking to some of you and hearing some of your perspectives on different things. It's been great chopping it up. As always, if you're new, subscribe. If you haven't already, drop a like on this video. Again, channel memberships are open. It would be appreciated if you want to support the channel. You've been watching for a while, taking some value. Join the channel, become a member. Of course, if you want to work with me one-to-one, there's a link down below in the description of pretty much every video, and also in the main description, a Calendly link. You can book a call with me, or alternatively, you can drop me an email as well. Ernest, please, my brother, no problem. Fire away, fire away. One last question, whatever. You're my guy. You're my guy. Fire away, man. Thanks. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, man. Merry Christmas. Just waiting on the, whatever the question is, Ernest. Fire away, my friend. I'll try my best. But yeah, whilst I'm waiting for that, as I said, regarding one-to-ones, I'm doing an offer right now for anybody that books their first call with me. You get the second one free, basically. So feel free to check that out. And Ernest, as I've started college, I'm wondering how I could manage doing other stuff apart from education and studying. It's really writing as I'm taking engineering. It's really difficult, maybe, is what you're trying to say. That keeps me wondering, how did you manage to raise your channel as you're still studying? I mean, yeah, bro, like engineering's a hard degree, and you're going to be doing a lot of work. And I've seen some videos and photos of people before and after engineering degrees. I know it's stressful. But look, if your why is deep enough and it means enough to you to do that extra bit on the side, you will. It was very, very important to me whilst I was studying. So for those of you that don't know what I was studying sports coaching and management. And a large part of that degree is you're doing coursework, you're doing assignments, but you're also coaching. And that is volunteering outside of your education. That's also working as a coach outside of your education. And for me, I was working in a hotel at the same time. So I was studying 4 or 5 days a week. I was working 2 night shifts a week, and I was coaching for local teams and doing voluntary work and also some paid work once or twice a week, as well as filming a video near enough daily, right? And that was difficult. There were some things that I had to balance, but I made it work. I thought, okay, when realistically can I film? I need to make sure that I have no distractions within this time frame, and I need to stop worrying about the quality too much in terms of the video and the sound, etc. As long as I don't look like I'm filming on a potato, as long as I don't sound like I'm in a microwave, it's okay. I just need to get it out there. I just need to put content out there. So that's what I did. And look, if your why is strong enough, and what you're doing on the side is that important to you, you'll make time. But again, you can find yourself at a crossroads, because if you do too much and you burn yourself out, you're then going to take away from tomorrow. So if you do too much today, too much, tomorrow's quality and performance could be lower. So work very hard, but not until the point that you're going against yourself, not to your own detriment, okay? Here's the thing, if you think you can and you think it's not going to have a negative ROI, do it, okay? Because those things are going to put you in a better position tomorrow. But if you think, you know what, I'm absolutely fried, my head is all over the place, and I don't have much more to give, and if I do give more, I'm going to be in a worse position tomorrow, that's when you need to slow down a little bit, okay? When I was a student, I stuffed my schedule to 150%. It wasn't a great idea trying to do too much per 24 hours. Exactly. So, as with anything in life, we try and find balance. We don't take that too far and become somebody who's a bit soft, you know, who doesn't have the ability to exert himself. No, sometimes you need to get your balance and chuck it in the bin, especially as a young guy, right? But generally, you know, as a rule, don't work yourself to burnout, okay? Anyway, guys, as I say, if you took some value, hit the like button, subscribe, share, keep doing as you're doing. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.